The mycorrhizal network is a complex, expansive web connecting fungus and plants in a hidden dimension of amazing connections. Through this collaboration, the myco, mushrooms, and rhiza, roots, transfer water and minerals, sending resources where they're needed and working together to thrive. Their collaboration involves fermentation, reproduction, decomposition, transportation, and an equal authority. That is to say that the system is mutually beneficial for all participants. Mushrooms are the fruit of an organism that resides primarily below ground in mycelium. Their shape carries associations far outside of the organic, democratic network of the mycorrhizal, perhaps most blatantly at the front of mushroom cloud, a term referring to a force of ultimate destruction and misery. Human culture expresses some fear for the fungal, and though the connection to atomic bombs can be credited to a visual association rather than a malicious hatred, the reputation doesn't end there. Fungus becomes alienated in popular culture, an example of the funky, the unknown. These observations are of course made by humans. However, despite our reluctance to admit it, humans are nature too. It's easy to believe we sit outside of the natural world and its systems, or perhaps above it. This view is not shared universally, as evidenced by Yasmin Ostendorf-Rodriguez's book, Let's Become Fungal, which teaches that the actions exhibited by fungus are not only a fascinating system, but a profound metaphor for new systems, new ways of thinking, and new behaviors. Subsequently, Rodriguez implies that our current systems need replacing. Our digital systems share a distinct cluster of norms. Far removed from the mycorrhizal, as we like to think we are, our network is saturated with drop-downs, menus, boxes, corners, and an extinguishing of much fluidity. Rigid visual hierarchy is rife, expected and accepted as the correct way to experience the digital world. At the core of this is authority, as human systems are undeniably infused with a human agenda, established by the humans with authority. With that in mind, our current human systems cannot be separated from the culture, gender, and morals of their creators, who are at the top of their own digital hierarchy. But humans are nature, and we cannot help it. From research into user interface principles, the most effective involve proportion, balance, rhythm, and feedback, which are exhibited by the mycorrhizal network. The internet is an organism of digital hyphae, which proves that we function like fungus. We have comparable needs and solutions. Alongside this discovery, there is a rich world of human thought which accepts nature as the way forward. Biomimicry, for example, is the practice of considering the efficiency of nature for our own design, including a vast collection of materials inspired by natural texture and form. Our solutions can be found in nature, where these problems have been solved already. Organic systems are important to our expression too. For example, the work of Ginkgo Socio-Technical Studio, designing with biology and alongside it with a utopian view. The work of Kenneth Goldsmith involves fluid systems through poetry, categorizing free, natural information in a system of language. The ways we think and work are undergoing significant change. Hugh W. lists exact changes, from the mechanistic to ecological, the made to the grown. Though I mentioned earlier the human fear of fungus, there is also a human fascination there. People collaborate with the fungal, harnessing biological signals to create music, which is what you're hearing right now. Let's Become Fungal shares that Latin American and Caribbean practices are rooted in multi-species collaboration, symbiosis, alliances, resource exchange and decentralization, all in line with the behavior of mycelium. Collaborative software, looking at Figma, Slack, Miro, Cosmos, Motion and Obsidian to name a few, creates an overwhelming positivity regarding the ability to share ideas, but this isn't without setbacks. It's a particularly human-centric digital space, and is therefore subject to the familiar rules of digital hierarchy. Deborah Gardner suggests that human collaboration can work with spontaneity, fluidity and individual autonomy. Collaborative software can enhance mutual empowerment, but can also enforce a singular authority, allowing for the restrictions of digital space. Sharing a digital space does not extinguish hierarchy, and can create difficulties in communication. As egos clash, irritation and stagnation interrupt creative flow. These limitations seem to point to a need for an application of our individual ways of working and thinking to the digital landscape, to allow our collaborative efforts to flourish. These findings together raise the question of whether our gravitation to a singular authority is necessary. It isn't for fungus, so perhaps the findings of thinkers such as Hugh W. are right, and our modern transition towards fluid work aligns with our closeness to nature. Like fungus, our collaboration could work better if designed to account for an authority residing in the many, not the one.